Hey y'all, welcome to Something to Bark About. I am so sorry. I know. We'll wait a minute, see if anybody can find us. I trying to get too fancy, I guess. I thought I had figured out Restream to play my play my new song that sounds a voice like it did, and just getting too fancy for it. Um, that's about all I can say. Let me, let me see if I can let a couple of folks know that. Uh, let's see if that helps folks find me. Uh, you know, you make it harder to do stuff from here on out. I really don't care about that, but it does make it tougher. Not jump up there. Anybody got in here yet? Look on Facebook. Not on Facebook. Because I'm not on Restream. Duh. All right, guys. Well, we've been 3 minutes of alive. Ah, there's Maria. Hey, welcome. I love when people give me a chance to be a boomer with all this technology. I am so sorry. I was on Restream and Sounds of Boss Life had made me my intro song, and so for the past week or so, I've been trying to figure out how to do it. And Monday, I actually got it to play and start the show. Welcome, Angel. Um, and I did something wrong, and it didn't send nobody a notification. The ninja puppy was looking for me, but anyway, just trying to get too smart with this stuff, and I still don't know what I did wrong, but hey, happy welcome. Welcome, welcome. I just got lots to figure out. I'm so proud. Put a one in the chat if you've heard my new song that sounds of Boss Life did for me. I would love to play it for y'all, but I'm not sure I could make it come through the right speaker so you can hear. I don't know how to pull it up on this computer. gosh, I got lots to learn. You know, being an old dog learning new tricks is not fun sometimes, but I am definitely trying for you guys. All seven of my girls wanted to join us live. Got six up there, and Cotton's in the lap. I don't trust her to not just bail off of there. Arna, welcome. No, you're not late. I was the dummy that for 3 minutes, I don't know what it was. I was on Restream and I had my new song set and it was doing a countdown. And then I didn't know if I was supposed to push live at that point or whatever. Get back. You're too close to the edge. No, you get back. But anyway, uh, it was playing and that's it. I have no clue what didn't work this end. That's what makes this so frustrating is you do it a couple times and it works and then you're like, okay, I got it figured out. Then something like this happens. So 'cause I appreciate y'all coming in. How's everybody doing? As I was saying, I got six or seven of my girls, six in the bed, a puppy trying to get on the edge. You back. Is it because I'm holding cotton? No, back, back, no, back, back, back. I don't know why she's getting on the edge. Be a pro soon. So, in other words, it happens to the best creators, Megan Fox, all the time. Well, I appreciate that. Um, I'm happy to see she just ate dinner and wants a nap now. Understand that too. Um, I was just listening to Tug and Megan a while ago. I missed the show last night. I'm an early to bed person. After you take care of 20, 25 daycare babies every day and leaves at 6 p.m., it ain't long that I'm thinking bedtime. And they come on, I think at 8 o'clock my time. So a lot of times my ambient is kicking in and I'm snoozing. But I hate what all's been going on and heard Mr. Coop's got an issue and Tizzy the Bounce. Man, that's low. You know, when people work hard to do what they do, and I mean, I've been appreciating this YouTube stuff. I've talked for 3 years wanting to do this, and every time, you know, I try to get this right, try to get that right, order this equipment, and something just kept pushing me back, you know, and finally, this past December, on December 3rd, I was like, I'm going to do it and go for it. And I had 33 subscribers at the time. And my channel probably goes back, I don't know, 10 or 12 years. I got some videos of my first Chihuahua Pocket on there when I had my pool and was trying to convince her to jump the 2 feet from the deck down in the pool. And she was like a 4 pound Chihuahua and she's going, nope, I ain't doing that. But uh, you know, I've been trying to be consistent since December and uploading shorts and trying to do a live on Mondays and Wednesdays. And it seems like every live there's another issue to figure out to learn. But all right, I'll let this one down. She's being antsy for some reason. And I don't want to not pay attention to her bail off of there. But yeah, I felt really bad when I heard what all happened to Tug. And, you know, to think about somebody like him that's uh, gave up his main job to do the Fun Employee thing and YouTube. Um, I'm sure he was scared to death with them little girls that are dependent on their daddy. Um, I hated to see it all, and but I'm a strong believer in what goes around comes around, and you are what you are. If you treat people right, then it's going to come back. If you treat them wrong, it's going to come back extra. I think that Ninja, I am so sorry. I had a major glitch in Restream, and the glitch is sitting right here. Put a one in the chat if y'all got to hear my new song. I was so excited about it. Um, and is the volume okay coming through? I don't have any of the buttons and stuff I've been watching on Restream here to see, but you happy you hadn't heard it yet? Well, I don't know if I can do it 5 times. Yeah, that's what was happening. It kept, I thought it would do the countdown and go live, and it was repeating the countdown. And I'm like, well, that's crazy. Um, Let me see. I'm not going to try that. I'm sure that I should not try that right now. I don't know what y'all see on my screen, and so I will. I would love to just get it. Let me see if I can just upload it on my channel. And a big thanks to Paul at Sounds of Voss, VOSS, Life, and I had asked him if he could make me a song. My whole thing has been kind of something to bark about, from the idea of Bonnie Raitt's song, something to talk about. And this actually doesn't go that way, but the words of the song just hit me as being perfect. One part is wolf, wolf, love, wolf, wolf, love. So I really loved it. But I'll try to figure out how to put it on my channel, just the song playing, and see. I know it's on Monday because it worked Monday, and I was so tickled to figure that out. And then, like I said, it just kept going back to countdown a while ago, and I'm like, well, I clicked go live, and but yeah, if you go back on Mondays, it did work Monday, and like I said, I really appreciate. He's another creator. If you go to his channel, he's got some really cool songs on there that he does, and he probably emailed it to me a couple of months ago, and my email got hacked, and so I get 1,000+ emails a day, and it will be off the chart, and then I'll sit down and try to go through, because you can't hit delete all because there's something important in there. And I actually was getting through the emails the other day, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, and I had to apologize to him for it sitting there 2 months. And then last week I was like, okay, I want to figure this out. Doing a YouTube video on everything. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I was all set, but today, Craig, I got to go back to the drawing board, because it was like I was getting y'all in on that channel through Restream, but it just kept doing the countdown, and I didn't know what button to push to make it come on live. So what's been going on with everybody? Does anybody live in Florida that's close to the horrific fires that I've seen a video of this morning. I hope and pray everything's okay. That would be so scary. That video Jeremy put up of that smoke that close to their property. It's gotta scare you to death to see something like that. But let me tell you about the dog show I went to. I went to my second dog show for the year, and normally by this time I'd been to 3 or 4 places on the foot. Leave your foot alone. Um, but it was in Ruston, Louisiana, and uh, they it was Belize's first show, and Cotton's a champion, and I'm trying to get her grand champion on her. So the show was Thursday through Sunday. Well, it was a covered arena, dark floor, and it was funny because um, Believe, when I set her down, she was like, nope. She would walk maybe 2 steps, and it was 4 breaks on right there. And so I kept trying, and it's very humbling to someone that's been a dog trainer 40 years, and you got a dog in the show ring that won't even walk on a leash. I mean, that humbles you pretty quick. But, she's a baby, just turned 7 months yesterday. And so I just kept trying to encourage her. Then I got Cotton and her together, and I know that helped a lot because Cotton could care less. She's running around barking. But Cotton won select Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and her sister Lucy or Rosie, was best of breed all 4 days. So that was cool. And Pam and I were getting our pictures together because sisters. And on Sunday, I'm uh, get Believe, and she was entered in 6 to 9 puppies. And I mean, when the judge pointed at me, I like fell out because I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" So Believe won on Sunday, won the points, and then I had to take Cotton and her. Well, I can't show 2 dogs at once, and because Believe won the points, she had to stay in the ring. So there was a young girl there that everybody's like, she'll show her, she'll show her. So I got Cotton out and handed her to this lady, and the judge is waiting on all this, swapping dogs and stuff. And about 2 seconds, Darlene, and Cotton was looking at that kid like, you are not going to touch me. This was not a proper, I wasn't properly introduced to you, not happening. So we knew right away that she would have had to pick Cotton up and put her on the table for the judge to examine her. And we could see quick that wasn't happening. So Cotton got put back in her spot, and Believe by then was like, not again. I don't want to run around this ring again. And she did, but it was much like, I'm done. I'm tired of this. Let's go on. So, welcome, Denise. I was very, very proud of my girls. And we're heading to Tulsa tomorrow. We got shows Friday and Saturday we're showing. We didn't enter Sunday. So that's going to be a fun trip. It's about a 5.5 hour drive for me. Let me go back up here. See. Thank you, Maria, on my volume. Angela said she hadn't heard my song. Arnold hadn't heard it yet. Thanks, Ninja says, yes, it's perfect. Happy says she'll have to find it. Uh, Ninja says, okay, now to be polite. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Ninja. Everybody's saying hello back. Ninja said, I live in Florida and the sun is blocked out by the Georgia fire. Wow. Wow. So is this, I hadn't heard nothing about a fire until Megan mentioned it this morning, and then I saw Jeremy Short. So I guess the state of Georgia is having the wildfires too. Maria says it's above me. I'm down Central Florida in Winter Garden. Um, there are about 100 fires currently burning in Florida. Wow. Wow. Denise says hello. Yes, I have been very busy the last few weeks, and the dog shows are my time to get away and do something with my kids. Uh, when you take care of everybody else's dogs, I groomed yesterday, and I'm down to 5 dogs that I still groom, and 2 of them are 16. One is 2 or 14, and then a schnauzer that comes. He's about 5 or 6, but he comes to doggy daycare every day. Um, so once every 5 6 weeks, I have a day of grooming, and that was yesterday. And uh, I just done got too old when of course, these dogs are wonderful because I've done them since they were babies. And that's why, I wasn't going to tell somebody it's been coming that long. I'm done grooming, but I have heard a lot of people know here lately that's been calling, and I'm just, uh, El Dorado and Magnolia are 2 little towns. We're each 30 miles apart from Camden. And a lot of my daycare doodles have been going to El Dorado, and whoever's doing them is doing a great job. But it's hard to recommend uh, groomers, and I personally don't unless it's a very close friend because if they go and have a bad experience, they're like, Darlene's told me to go here. I don't want that. Because grooming somebody's dog, to me, it's an honor. And, when I first started, I had trained under a master groomer in Louisiana for 12 weeks. And her business was Oodles of Poodles, was the name of her business. And we would work from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. grooming poodles all day. And she was very picky, like doing their feet and all. I mean, there was no sprigs. You had that foot completely clean, and I appreciate that training. Years later, at the time, I was like, I don't know if I can do this or not, because 90% of grooming dogs is being able to handle them and make them feel safe and uh, make them be willing. If they're fighting you and you've got clippers and scissors in your hands, that's not a good scenario, and that's how injuries do happen. And thankfully, in my 40 years, uh, most times if somebody got cut, it's me because I've always tried to keep my hands in between, like cutting around their ears or something. My fingers are there past their ears, so I'm cutting hair. I'm not no chance cutting the ear. I'm not saying I hadn't had a couple of nicks here and there all these years, but uh, one of the things, the problems I've had is I've used a new clipper with it's a 5-in-1 blade, so instead of changing blades every few seconds for a different length, this clipper goes from very short, surgical short, to like a 10 blade, like you do a schnauzer's back with a 10 blade. And I will admit, there's been a few times that I had it on the wrong setting, and you start down, and it's very hard to cover up that you use the surgical blade type cut on that back. But I've also had the best customers over the years that, you know, they trust me. They know I love their babies just like my own, and they do. They become a part of my family. But that's why going to shows is so important because that's my decompress time, and I've got some really close friends that we've become a pack, so to speak, in the travel world, and we just have a good time. We always try to go eat one of the nights that we're together, and it's just fun. Sophie, are you getting squeezed out over there? No, I just asked a question. Oh, let's see. Ninja, how close are the fires to you? There, you said there's 100 fires currently burning in Florida. What? How close are you talking to your house? You have to get stirred around up here. And did anybody was Coop? Did he have his show this morning? I wasn't able to get on this morning, so I missed the shows. Um, I just hate it so bad that they're all having to leave early with um, go through all that mess. I mean, you're not sure that there's a big river between me and the fire. Well, that, that's a comforting thought. Um, we've never in my 40 years here had like a fire next to me. My property here was all uh, pine trees and gum and oak trees when I bought it 40 years ago. And we were, at first, I got like an acre and a half, and then over the years, we've added to it. But beside me is still the same forest woods like it looked when I bought it. And nobody's ever bought that property, which is good to me because it's hard to have a neighbor when you get 30, 40 dogs running out barking. But I think that was last year. Uh, Everybody started calling, and not a mile from me, a grass fire had started, and I don't think I ever remember the wind like it was that day. I mean, it was so windy, and there's this place, like I said, about a mile from me that had historical log cabins. The main house had a history to it, and then they had probably 5 or 6 log cabins that had exactly what they looked like back when they were in use, and they're in the historical records, and the Times Camden. We have what's called a daffodil festival, and that used to be a big part of the Daffodil Festival is going. There's a lot of historical places uh, in Camden, so that was a big part of their deal. They would take people around, and some of these places had planted daffodils, and just I'm talking like kind of like the blue bonnet thing in Texas. Well, that it wasn't blue bonnets; it was daffodils. But anyway, that was the scariest thing I've ever seen. All the cabins burned to the ground, and the fire got within inches. I think she had some, spot damage from flying embers and stuff. But uh, I mean, it was scary, and watching the guys put their lives on the line because it was just stopping them. And this was a very populated area, so after it hit those log cabins, it was like a few hundred feet to the next property and residence, and they were evacuating people. And that's something I've always thought about, have a plan for. But my biggest fear is all these years having the railroad track. right behind me. And, there's probably 8 or 10, no, don't do that, 8 or 10, 15 trains go through every day. And if I've ever done a video uh, and I have my living room door open, it sounds like the train is coming through my living room. But that's always been a fear because, of some kind of derailment and all that. But my plan has always been just load them up and go, donkey and goat included, just get to where we need to be for safety. Let's see. Hi, Denise. You, I thought I said hello to you. Ninja said, I'm not sure, but there's a big river between me and the fire. I worry more about the fire hitting the nuclear submarine base. Oh, wow. That would be fearful. Wow. Well, I'm definitely praying for you guys. And, that's just one of them deals where you have to pray for the best, pray for the people out there fighting it, putting their lives on the line to save others' property. Well, I will add that to my prayer list. That, we don't need no nuclear stuff or anything like that going on. Now, Cotton wants back up here. She says, I'm just too busy to stay in one place. Cotton Marie. You know, Cotton Marie. We No has, I've had Pam's mail. She brought him last Wednesday to see if he would breed No, and he did. He's had 3 days of puppy making. So in June, I might have some babies to show y'all. Uh, in fact, Pam had her dog that was due puppies with her in the hotel room. There was 3 of us, and she had her baby Saturday morning, and had 2 girls and a boy, and uh, they come out. They're going to be smooth coats and very healthy puppies. Pam pants because there's a big boy, the second one born. I'm sorry, my spam call got to come through. Uh, and he was kind of stuck. So we were at the show site, and she's back there with her pup, with her female, and she texted me and said she's headed to the vet because this one was stuck, and the vet just, I mean, it popped right on out, and he only charged Pam $68 for X-ray, no office visit, nothing. Which, when you're out of town like that, and then other vets, mercy, you never know. But he said, take her back to the room. She's fine. And we were standing there watching over, talking, and Pam looked away, and look, number 3 came out. So, um, very, very proud and she's such a good mama. She takes care of these babies, and they're like little milk trucks. I don't think Pam is taking them to Tulsa. I think her daughter's going to babysit them this weekend. But I'll try to get y'all some pictures a video that I could share so y'all could see them. But we may have no babies. I bred No with the same dog a couple of years ago, and she had 3 long coats. He's a long coat, and 3 smooth, and uh, 3 of the long coats all became grand champions and have done a lot of winning. I just got a thing this weekend where one of the babies in Ohio, or no, Iowa, was shown this weekend and got a group two and very tickled. So I love it's like hearing about something good about your grandbaby. That's always cool to me. Well, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me. I am so sorry for the craziness that started this, but I was like, well, I gotta go live, and I don't know how else to do this, but kill that one on Restream and go straight to YouTube. Uh, I may be reaching out to, I know Mr. Coop had told me he uses Freestream, and I might reach out to him and get some pointers because there's obviously something I'm not doing right to have the issues I had a while ago. But I'll definitely be praying for you guys in Florida and Georgia and anywhere else that's facing these fires, and be holding the right thoughts for everyone. And I plan to do some lives while I'm in Tulsa. So I'll try to send a notice out, but whatever I'm doing wrong, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So that was why I was so excited today. I was like, okay, I got the music to play, everything on Monday. And I thought I figured out why Black Ninja had let me know she didn't get a notification. So I went back and thought, okay, I need to do this. And I was so happy because everybody was getting the notification, but then all they do is getting a replay. All right, people, well, y'all have a great rest of your day. Remember, there's always something to bark about. I love you guys, and we'll be back soon. Have a good one.